Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and violin tutor. If the violin is shaking when you're trying to do vibrato, that is the number one sign that you are attempting vibrato too soon. Number one, the first thing you're going to need is a violin. I have been playing the violin since I was 4 years old. I went to university and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in music.
With the amazing talent that's Alison Sparrow. Alison, come out here.
So bear with me if there are any technical hitches, I'm sure it'll be fine. For about 5 years I was an examiner for the London College of Music. And over the years I've seen basically the music world from every kind of possible view really, and because of that it has enabled me to write my own violin course. Hello everyone, welcome. So there we go, that's kind of all you really need to know. And don't forget guys, anyone can learn to play the violin. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live. Thank you all very much for joining me. And in today's video we're going to be talking a little bit more about key signatures. I talked about key signatures last week and there was a lot of confusion between what the key signature was, what it does, and what the point and the purpose of is it of, and we talked about that. And this week I was just going to follow up from that, and I didn't have any of the materials that I needed that I wanted to use to show you guys. So today I have come prepared and I have something ready for you. But before we get started, as usual, this is my 1 to 30 violin course. It is a 100% downloadable course that takes you from a complete beginner violinist to a very decent, accomplished intermediate player. The course is, I always get this wrong here, the course is $59.99, 100% downloadable, and everything, all the links you need are down below. The first 10 lessons, are absolutely free, with all the materials and everything that you need. You just need your violin and your bow and you can get going. So let me put you back to the main screen. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about key signatures. Now last week we were talking about what the key signatures were, so I don't want to spend too much time kind of recapping that because you know, I did a 40-minute video last week on it. I would imagine this video this week will probably be a little bit shorter because there's just the final part to explain, but we will see what questions you guys have. And if you have them, put them in the chat box and I'll do my best to answer them. So we were looking at the key signature, which is these kind of, well, in this one it's these two sharps here, and what we were looking at was what does that mean when you look at a piece of music? So if we're looking at this and we see we've got a key signature, we know that we're in the key of D major. How do we know we're in the key of D major? That's a very good question. So this chart that I had here, honestly, it's this, the video mirrors, so I can never get, it's on the screen, it's this way, but it's not. I have to sort of do it the other way. So these are all your key signatures that you've got here. And if you look at, where are we on the top? This one here, sorry, I can't point over it because it's sitting on the screen. So this one here where it says D major, that has two sharps in it. So we know that, there we go. So the two sharps there matches the two sharps that are there. So we know this piece of music is going to be in the key of D major. Let me get that off there so you can see me. Now what that means is that when you are playing the scale of D on the violin, or even for the piano, this goes, guys, this goes for any instrument as well. It doesn't really matter. I'm talking theory here. Music theory is all the same. But what that specifically means for you guys learning the violin is that you will know exactly where your fingers go. So we know that when we play an open string on the violin, we play an open string. That's easy. We know that when we put the first finger down, we put the first finger down in our usual position. When we put the second finger down, it can go in one of two places. It can either go next to the first finger, or it can be stretched a little bit further and it can go next to the third finger. And that's where people get confused because they are just used to seeing a piece of music and they're just used to sort of listening and thinking, oh, hang on a minute, that didn't sound quite right. Maybe I have to stretch it. But if we know our scales, and I bang on about this all the time, but it's true, the better we are at our scales, and if we know our scales, it means we're going to make, it's going to make learning the pieces and playing the pieces a lot easier because you're not going to make those kind of rookie, rudimentary type mistakes. So when you see that something is in the key of D major, so it's got two sharps, and as for knowing that, I'll just put this back on again. You just have to remember it. You just have to kind of remember these. But as I said to you last week, you only have to remember probably D major, A major, and E major. So you'll probably only need, and G major as well. So you probably only have to memorize and know these first kind of 1 sharp, 2 sharp, 3 sharp, and probably 4 sharp. Anything above that, and then you're getting to quite advanced music. So for the kind of music that you guys are playing, you're probably only going to be going up to about A major at this point. And the same goes for the flats as well. So you've got B flat, which is 1 flat, which is B flat, so that's in the key of F major. Then you've got B flat major, which is right here, 2 flats, and then at the bottom, my microphone's in the way, and then the bottom here you've got E flat major. You could remember A flat major if you wanted to, but I would only remember up to I'd only remember 1, 2, and 3 sharps for this point that I think everyone is going to be in. So this week I just wanted to finish off from that, and I wanted to talk about how you are going to work out based on the sharps and flats that are in any particular piece of music and what key those are in. So this isn't something that you need to know in order to play the violin, but it is something you should know. It would be like learning how to drive a car. Yeah, so you know exactly how to, in the UK we do a lot of manual cars. In America I know you're more automatic, but let's say it's just, we're learning to drive a car, whatever we've got, manual or automatic, and not bothering to learn the highway code. So we don't care when we have to stop at traffic lights, what the red light, orange light, green light, we're not worried about any of that. The stop and start signs. It's just like we don't really care about the rules of the road. We're just learning to drive the actual vehicle, but we need to know the rules of the road because obviously we kill people if we don't know those. So it isn't quite the same sort of analogy, but not understanding what, where, why, or how you are doing things, I think is really important. And you should know, because it will just cement all the information together rather than just knowing the 2 sharps is D major. How do you know that? Oh, because Alison told me. That's not really a good enough answer, because if someone said to you why, well, I don't know, Alison told me. That's not really the right answer, is it? So let's go on to, no, we don't want that one. So this one. Now, if we have a look at this is our key signature table. Now I'm going to put this, I just forgot to do it because I was a bit busy this week, but I will put this into my Google Drive and I'll put a link to it under the video. So it isn't there now, apologies, it's here, but it will be just shortly after this live has ended. Animal Row. I was recapping what I did last week. That's what I've just been talking about. But what we did last week, we were just talking about what the key signature did. So you haven't really, if you were here last week, so you haven't missed anything. But now I'm moving on to the what, where, why, whos, and hows. So this is my key signature chart. Now, someone mentioned something. Apologies, I can't remember who it was. It might have been you, Animal. Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. It might have been you. Apologies if it wasn't. But someone mentioned the circle of fifths. I don't have a chart of the circle of fifths. I forgot to put that up there. But if you go onto Google, you can find the circle of fifths. Now, the circle of fifths is a very popular way of finding a key signature. Now, I don't really like the circle of fifths because I feel like you just need the whole circle in front of you to figure it out. Whereas this way, you only need 4 sets of mnemonics, which are here. Now, when you are looking at your, and I think I will need, so if we look at this, when you're looking at this piece of music here, and you can see all these sharps here, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 7 sharps in this piece of music. Okay, so 7 sharps, like what the hell key is 7 sharps? Right, well, this is where we go to our key signature chart that we've got here. And we will go to the major sharp keys. Again, sorry, I can't point because it's on the screen. So can you see you've got 4 boxes? You've got major sharps, minor sharps. They're major sharp keys, minor sharp keys, major flat keys, minor flat keys. Now, let's just assume, let's go back to this again. So let's just assume that Chanson de Matin by Elgar, it's got seven sharps there in the key signature. I have absolutely no clue what key that's in. Like, I couldn't even begin to tell you what key it's in. So let's see if we can find out. Now, let's just assume it's major for now. Let's go with that. Now, have a look at your major sharps, which we've got here on the first block. Major sharp. So the numbers going vertically down are the number of sharps and or flats. So we've got 0 sharps, 1 sharp, 2 sharp, 3 sharp, 4 sharp, 5 sharp, 6 sharp, and 7 sharps. Now most of you can probably see the answer of where we're going with this. But if we've got a piece of music with no sharps and no flats in, that is going to be in C major. So C for carol. If we've got 1 sharp, we're going to be in the key of G, grows, which is the second word in that. If we've got 2 sharps, daisies, then we're going to be in the key of D major, and so on and so forth. So let's go down to number 7, because when we looked at Chanson de Matin that way, we had 7 sharps in here. So let's go down to 7, which is about here, and we're in C sharp. So we're in C sharp major. There we go. So Chanson de Matin is in C sharp major. Chanson de Matin, by the way, is not in C sharp major. I did that just to prove a point that I was talking about last week. Now let's assume that Chanson de Matin is in a minor key, and it's also got 7 sharps. So we are in A sharp minor. So we could be in C sharp major or A sharp minor. Now, the difference between major and minor is probably another video, but we know we know that Chanson de Matin is in a major key. So we're going to say Chanson de Matin is in C sharp major. So that is how you're going to work out. If we looked at this, we've got 2 sharps here, so we could be in one of 2 keys. So let's look at the major sharps there. We've got 0, 1, 2. So we can either be in D major or we could be in B minor. Now, we know Country Gardens. Again, I'm not going to differentiate between major or minor. That is probably another video if you guys want to do more or learn more about theory stuff. But we know that this is in a major key. So 2 sharps, we know we're in 0, 1, 2. We know we're in D major. We're not in B minor because it's a when you play it, da 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 da, it's in a major key. So we know we're in D major, and there we go. So the easy way to remember that is you just have to remember the 4 mnemonics. So the major sharps is Carol grows daisies and enters blooms for competition. Minor sharps, animals enter boats for cruise going down Amazon. Major flats, Chef Fred buys eggs and does good cooking. And then minor flats, all dogs give cats frights but elephants ache. Now don't ask about the last one. If any of you have got anything better on the last one, then go for it. But that's just what I've been my teacher taught to me many years ago when I was about 10. So for about 30 odd years, this is all I've known. So I'm not gonna, a leopard doesn't change his spot. So that works for me, whatever. So let's say, for example, then let's have another look at another example in this book. I wonder if we've got one. Yeah. So this one here, these pieces, by the way, that I'm taking are from my songbook 1. And let's have a look at Leaving for the Last Time. So this one here has got 2 flats. Now we're going to be in a major key or a minor key here. So let's have a look. We've got 2 flats. So we're going to be in this minor, we're going to be in this flat portion here. Now we've got 0 flats, 1 flat, 2 flat. Now we know that we're going to be in either B flat major or G minor. Which one are we in? I'll tell you, we're in B flat major because we know this piece is major. Again, how you work out the difference between sharps and flats, between major and minor, again, is another video. But we know we're in B flat major there. So all you have to do is remember your Chef Fred buys eggs and does good cooking. So Chef Fred buys, and we know we're in B flat. So that's pretty much it with that. That's how I remember that. So I just remember the four: the Carol grows daisies and enters blooms for competitions, animals enter boats for crews going down Amazon, Chef Fred buys eggs and does good cooking, all dogs give cats frights but elephants eggs. Now I just always remember those because that is just something I have remembered. And sometimes when I get something that's got 7 sharps in and I think, I'm not working in 7 sharps ever, and I think, oh, I can't quite remember that one is, I'll sort of think to myself, Carol grows daisies and enters blooms for competent C sharp major, then I know that I'm in C sharp major. So I just quickly do that. Now, yes, some of you may remember the circle of fifths and may find the circle of fifths really easy. How you go about remembering that is kind of a similar sort of thing, but you're still going C, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, A, B, A, C, D. You're counting 5 notes along each time. That's easy to do that, but you could also just go Carol grows daisies and enters blooms for competition. So while you're counting your C to your G, C, D, E, F, G, G, A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G, A, B, A, B, D. While you're doing all of that, I've just gone Carol grows daisies and enters blooms for competition. And then I just stop at whatever number of sharps or flats that I've got in here. But whichever way you guys want to remember this or want to work that out, that's absolutely fine. There is no right or wrong. The circle of fifths is the circle of fifths, and this way here, that is the way I do it, and that is the easy way of doing it, because I find it just easy to remember those mnemonics. All you have to do is just remember the 4 and obviously which one goes where. So that is that. Let me just go to some questions. Let's see if we've got any. I'm hoping I fixed my stream as well this time. Yeah, I think we're looking good at the moment. I've just lowered my bit rate from last week, so we should be okay. We never know, do we? Yes, Amol, yes, it was you. Yes, who mentioned the circle of fifths. Right, it's just, oh, come on, up you go. Yes, I don't think I've ever, Anmol says again, I don't think I've ever come across violin repertoire, generally speaking, which has more than 4 sharps or flats. Then again, I'm just a 2-year beginner. Well, no, because when you're working in something that's got, let me go back to this. If you have a look up here, I mean, if you're going into B major, which is just down the, the first on the middle column, if you're going down to B major, it isn't a key that anybody wants to go in, because it's, nobody wants to do that because it's too difficult on the violin. So I would say these ones along the top here, C major is actually more difficult than you think it is to play on the violin. On the piano it's easy, because C major on the piano means you're just playing all of the white notes, so it's a little bit easier. But actually on the violin, playing C major is not that easy. The easiest key signature on the violin is D major, because that's just naturally where the fingers want to go, because it means all the fingers are basically stretched. The second fingers are stretched. When you're playing anything like G major, the F sharp on the D string with the second finger is going to be stretched, but then the C on the A string is not stretched. So now you've got to think, oh, hang on a minute, my second finger is on that one, but it isn't on that one, but it is there and it isn't there. So actually I would say D major and A major are probably the 2 easiest ones. When we get into E major, where we've now got a D sharp, I mean, playing anything more than 2 or 3 sharps or flats. So I can't find anything with more than 2 flats in this, but let's just say we had a piece of music with 4 sharps in, and we're having a look on here and we're going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be either in 4 is down here, so we're either going to be in E major or C sharp minor. And whether we're in E major or C sharp minor obviously depends on the piece of music, but either one of those 2. And then once we know we're in, let's say we've decided we're in E major, then we would think back to our E major scale, and then we would figure out where all our fingers are going on the E major scale. Then when we came to play said piece in E major, our fingers are going to be trained to go down exactly where we know that they're going to go down. That's then how you start relating the key signature to actually playing the pieces of music. So the other thing I wanted to show you was this, which should be coming up this side. Let me get rid of this one. So here we are, we're this side now. So this is the order of sharps and flats. Okay, so the order of sharps and flats are here, and I've included them in the bass clef as well for anybody that just might want to see them. I thought I may as well. It's just handy. Some of you might play some other instruments or whatever. So I've included them in the treble clef and the bass clef. Now, when you see the sharps and flats at the beginning of the piece of at the beginning of the piece of music here. So when you see these, and I think was it Mia? I'm not sure if Mia's here this week. Mia, one of my viewers, Mia, last week was asking what the sharps and flats was and things. So when you've got one sharp, it's going to be wrong way again. It's going to be F for Fred. When you've got two sharps, it's going to be C or C sharp for Charles, and so on. So we remember this. This is why in the UK we're generally taught with things like mnemonics, because they're just easy to remember, aren't they? So we've got Fred Charles goes down and ends battle. Okay, and when we do the flats, it is just the opposite. Battle ends and down goes Charles Fred. So for the sharps, Fred Charles goes down and ends battle. Battle ends and down goes Charles Fred. So I know there are a couple of mnemonics that are different. I think people say Father Childs does such and such, whatever. That's fine if you've been taught that. Remember that mnemonic. The reason why we like this one is because it is the exact reverse. When you're doing this way, when you're doing the sharps and flats, it is exactly the reverse. Fred Charles goes down and ends battle. Battle ends and down goes Charles Fred, and that's it. So that's all you have to remember for this. So if you want to, if you've got something with four sharps, so let's say we were looking at, actually I've got it down here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me put this one back on. So let's say we are looking at something, let's say we're looking at this one, G flat major, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 there. Now we know it's in G flat major because, you know, we can see that it's in G flat major. If that didn't say G flat major and we've got 6 flats, what we would then do is go to this, and we would go to 6 flats here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're in G flat major, which is exactly what we said we were in. So we go to that, and then, I mean, what flats are they? Don't know. So battle, let's do it this way. Battle ends and down goes Charles. So we've got B flat for battle, E flat for ends, A flat for and, D flat for down, G flat for G, and C flat for C. So battle ends and down goes Charles. So that just helps us remember the order of the sharps and flats. And if we've got something with three sharps, it is always going to be Fred Charles goes. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. If we've got something with 2 flats in the key signature, it is always going to be B flat and E flat, battle and ends. So yeah, that's it really. That's all the information that I just wanted to finish off with the key signatures. Now, is everybody suitably confused? What I will do is I've got this, this chart here is on this one here, so I will leave that there, and I will also include this one. So these two right here will be in the description. I'll put them as a link to my Google Drive so that you can download these PDFs. I've made these PDFs this week for you, so you can download them and have a look at them and just kind of sit there and digest them. But again, this is the theory behind the key signatures. So it's not just a case of looking at your piece of music there and thinking, oh look, there's one sharp in there, we're in G major. I mean, the clue's in the title here on this one anyway, but not all of them are called minuet and G. Some of them are called Air from Water Music Suite, for example, and this one has a flat in it, and then we need to know what key we are in if we see one flat. But it's all very well and good remembering that it's the key of F major, but how did we get to F major? What we did was What we did was we looked at this and we went Chef Fred buys, or actually, sorry, Chef Fred. So we're in the key of F major. and that's how we work that out. So once you've remembered these, you can sit there and go, Chef Fred buys eggs and does good. You'll be able to just reel them off very, very quickly. So hopefully that has been a little bit helpful. Let me see if anybody just come up with any questions. So Animal again, yes, C major is challenging. Yeah, it just is. It's really easy on the piano, but it's just really not easy on the violin. It's because fingers are back, fingers are stretched. Like it's just really complicated. So it's not as easy. The key of C major is not easy for the violin. The violin loves sharp keys. The violin loves D major and it likes A major. It's okay with G major. We like G major. It's, meh with G major. D major, we love. A major, we also love. E major, at a bit of a push, but we don't like the D sharp because we don't like stretching that third finger on the D string. And also, we don't like playing D sharps with the fourth finger on the G string or a 1 back on the D, which will give us an E flat, which is also a D sharp. We don't like things like that. So, LGM Cat, Alison, is this information part of your course? I haven't gotten that far yet. Yes, it's partially in the course. The key signatures is in the course. So the key signatures, I believe, is in book 2. I can't off the top of my head remember which page it's on, but the part about key signatures is in book 2. I haven't gone into the kind of depth that we've got on here with this, simply because you don't need to know this as long as you know the key signatures. So at that point, when you get into book 2, actually I've got book 2 sitting in front of me, so let me just get the right page for you, just in case anybody who's got book